Hey guys, what's up? It's me, MJ Fangirl, and I am back with another video. I am really excited to talk to you guys today about reading. One of my favorite things beyond Michael Jackson and my passion for his music and his legacy is to read. I love reading, and you guys have talked to me previously about books and like what book recommendations I have for the Michael Jackson fans that want to learn more about him. So today we're going to be talking 10 books, yes, 10 books that you need to read before the Michael Jackson biopic movie comes out. The Michael Jackson biopic comes out next year, April 2025. If you're listening to this in 2024, it comes out next year. And so I'm going to give you my list of my top 10 books that I think you need to read. We're also going to be getting into two new segments that I have. One is called Remember the Time, and the other one is called Dear Fangirl, where you guys write to me with one of your dilemmas or your questions. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. You are now watching MJ Fangirl TV or listening to us on Club 30s with MJ Fangirl. Girl, you got to know. We can touch the sky like all right, so number one, I wanted to start off with introducing myself. If you are new to me, my name is MJ Fangirl, and I make videos for and about the Michael Jackson fan community. So let's get into these books. Number one, I'm going to start with a book that's sitting right beside me. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you see that I have Moonwalk right here. And this is Michael Jackson's book that he wrote. This is his autobiography that he wrote in the late 80s. So this is taking you from his life all the way from the beginning. He even gives a little bit of background history on his parents and his ancestors, but he talks about his life up until the late 80s, which is like pretty much rounding out the bad era. So I recommend this book because, number one, you need to read about Michael Jackson in his own words, right? His own thoughts about his life, going from the Jackson 5 days, well, even before the Jackson 5 days, Gary, Indiana days, when he and his 9 siblings were in that small 2-bedroom house. I think it was a 2-bedroom house, or was it a 1-bedroom? I think it was a 2-bedroom house. In Gary, Indiana, from their humble beginnings, going through the Chitlin circuit and playing clubs and things, and going to different auditioning for Motown, which is where they became the Jackson 5. Then going through his career there, he even talks about things like the Jackson's variety TV show. He talks about the different tours that he went on. He talks about songs in depth, which I think a lot of people might have overlooked when they read this initially, because I think a lot of people, when they go into reading Michael Jackson's own words, they want to hear all the juicy gossip and the stories. But really, I think this is one of the best ways to learn about Michael in his own words, including like the creative process and the music and all that. So definitely go and pick that up. The second book I'm going to recommend is All the Songs. All the Songs is actually a book that I have on Kindle, and I reference it pretty often when I want to do videos about Michael's music or like deep dives into songs. All the Songs it's very obvious what it's about. It's all the songs. So if you ever wanted to do like a deep dive into Michael's discography, that would be the book that I would recommend. I also like my third choice on this list, which is Man in the Music, and I have notes here. That's why I'm looking down. Man in the Music by Joe Vogel. So this book is a book that was approved by the estate. If you ever went to the Michael Jackson One store in Las Vegas, you would have seen this on sale in the Michael Jackson shop. But yeah, this is a book that also goes into depth. I feel like there's a little bit more storytelling with this, and a little bit more context and background. So if you're looking to read more of like, I guess, a story, especially behind some of the songs that like you might be curious about and you want to feel like that emotion and stuff, I think Man in the Music would be good. But I love both of those, and I think both of those are necessary for understanding Michael's music. And there's a bunch of other music books. Comment down below, or visit the video on YouTube, or send me a DM or whatever if you have other books that you enjoy that are specifically about Michael's music and the creative process. But those are the two that I would recommend. And then now, it's May. we're getting into Mother's Day, and I thought I could not have this list go on without a mention of Mrs. Catherine Jackson's, book, My Family, the Jacksons. Now, if you guys did not know about this book, you might have known about it in a roundabout way if you watched the Jackson's American Dream movie. So the Jackson's American Dream miniseries that played a million times on VH1 and MTV when we were growing up, that one, that movie was based on Catherine Jackson's book. And so a lot of the stories that you'll see told in that miniseries were also told in Catherine Jackson's book. So many more stories, of course, but just really, really great to read about it from her perspective. She talks about meeting Joe. She talks about a lot of things that you would think that maybe like the Jacksons would want to keep under wraps, But I love that she was very like candid and honest in this book. And so I think it's a great read. It's very hard to find. My copy is over yonder. I'm like going through my collection now and trying to like house it in a different location. So I might do a video coming up soon showing you guys all of my collection as I'm putting it away because I need to find a better display for it. But I'm going off on a tangent here. Back to the book. I have a copy. I bought this previously, probably in like the early mid 2000s on eBay, but it's very hard to find now, especially after Michael's passing. But if you can find it, definitely give it a read. I think you might be able to find a PDF of it online. Don't quote me. But speaking of mothers, as you guys know, I recently became a mom. I'm going to be a mom for almost 2 years now, you guys, so I'm still new in the realm of motherhood. But all of us know and love and appreciate our moms. And I just wanted to give a little shout out to all the moms out there, all the caretakers out there doing the mama's work. And I would not be able to continue this video without giving a shout out to our sponsor, Ana Luisa. Thank you guys so much at Ana Luisa for partnering with me today on this portion of the video. We're going to be talking about some of the most beautiful jewelry, really, really beautiful jewelry that's going to be the greatest gift for your mom or other moms out there for Mother's Day. So let's get into these pieces. So first of all, I want to give a shout out. I have to show this. Ana Luisa is a company from New York City. Shout out to my hometown, New York City. But I got 3 pieces from Ana Luisa. One of them is this herringbone necklace, which I absolutely love. And then also a pair of bamboo earrings. They're like little bamboos, mini bamboos, A girl's got to have bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. Shout me out at the comments if you know what that reference is. But Ana Luisa's designs, they start at just $39 per pair. And anywhere in the US, they've got you covered with free shipping, so you can get this. And I believe if you order today, which today's May 3rd when you're seeing this video and when I'm recording it also, so you can get these shipped to you in time for Mother's Day, which is next weekend. So definitely make sure that you put your orders in if you're interested. They have bracelets, they have different type of earrings, they have necklaces, they've got like golds, they've got silvers, like everything is just really beautiful. I went for this mini herringbone because I always thought this was like, I don't know, I just loved like the solidness of it, but they've got really dainty pieces as well. They also do free shipping and exchanges, and I'm going to leave a link in the description box for you guys below to check out Ana Luisa, and you can get 20% off of your order. Like I said, make sure that you're placing that today or this weekend to get it in time for Mother's Day. All right, so book number 5 on the list is going to be Humanitarian by Paul Dwyer. This is a book if you are interested in learning more about Michael Jackson's humanitarian work, which no doubt will be showcased in the biopic. Definitely check this book out. I believe he also has a podcast, so you might want to check that out on wherever you listen to podcasts. Humanitarian is a great book because it's almost like a timeline of Michael Jackson's humanitarian work throughout the years. One of the things that was a common theme in the book that I didn't realize until I read it was that Michael Jackson was not only generous with his money, but he was also generous with his time. And that's something that a lot of celebrities or a lot of people don't do, right? A lot of people are like, hey, we donate, we give back, and they give back with their dollars. But Michael Jackson gave back not only with dollars, but also with his time. He would go and visit people in hospitals. He would go and visit children at orphanages when he would be on his tours. And I'm not sure exactly who I heard this from, but it might have been one of his former dancers or choreographers. It was a collaborator. They spoke about how the tour was important to Michael, yes, but he like always was making sure first and foremost that like there was an orphanage to visit or a hospital to visit. So he really wanted to give back with his time and his presence. And I think it's just gold, and it made me respect Michael Jackson so much more. So I would definitely check that book out. They also have like personal stories from some of the folks that he touched, like that he personally like touched with, like the impact that he had on their lives. And so I love that this book exists. And I think Prince Jackson was also on the podcast of Paul Dwyer. So check that out. Number 6 on my list is going to be Michael Jackson Inc. I know a lot of you guys are like, don't want to talk about the business that is Michael Jackson. So like there's of course like the man, the entertainer, the humanitarian, the father, the son, the brother, the uncle. But there's also Michael Jackson, the businessman, and there's Michael Jackson as a business entity. And I personally, like as a MBA graduate and like someone that is in business now and in marketing and advertising in my real life career, I loved this book. And I thought that it paid homage to Michael as a businessman. And we really never have heard him get that type of respect. And so I loved that they talked about, different deals that he did or different negotiations that he came up with to help him in his career, the importance of like the royalties and getting the rights to his songs and his masters and all that, and how he paved the way, how he gave back to other artists that came before him and purchased some of their songs and gave them back to them. I think he did that with like Chuck Berry and Sly and the Family Stone. So there are just so many stories in this book that I love. And I think that the biopic would be not as good if they didn't touch upon these types of stories. So I really hope that they touch upon them. I'm looking forward to that side of Michael Jackson being represented on the big screen. So definitely read this and let me know down below what you guys think about Michael Jackson as a businessman. Do you guys know any of those stories? Are you interested in learning more about him in this way? Comment down below on the YouTube video. All right, so next up is Jermaine and LaToya. I'm going to give their books, You Are Not Alone and Starting Over, both the number 7 slot. These books came out, I believe, in like 2010 or 11, like shortly after Michael's passing. And I just think it's really important to read those sibling perspectives. LaToya's book is a lot more about her life. Jermaine's has a little bit more about Michael's life, but I think they're both equally as important. All right, so number 8 on the list. Yes, number 8. My camera just died, so forgive me if I did not finish my thought when it came to Jermaine and LaToya's books, but go and get those. Number 8 on the list is going to be Dancing to Dream, which is Michael Jackson's book of poetry and short stories. Again, it's just one of those books that's very autobiographical. I actually find it to be even more autobiographical in some ways than the autobiography. Not like in a way that to take away from the autobiography, but just the fact of like, he just shares a lot of information, like getting into his head, of where his thoughts are and like who he is as a human being. And I love getting into that. Lots of short stories. I think I've got several that I love in the book. And again, if you're interested in any of these books, they will be linked in the show notes down below, as well as in the description box. On my Amazon storefront, I have an entire little idea list that is dedicated to all these books if you would like to purchase any of them. Kicking off number 9, I'm going to be giving 2 books. One is about history, one is about Blood on the Dance Floor. Both of them are by Bryce Nehar. Love these books. They are little-known stories from producers, songwriters, and other collaborators about 2 albums that I feel like no one really talks about. So if you are interested in learning about the creative process and like some of the stories from Michael's collaborators, definitely read this book. Like, I remember reading a story from Tom Baylor, I think his name is, who's a songwriter for She's Out of My Life, and like the process that he went through from being friends with Quincy and having him have this book and sung and save it for someone special, and how he ended up having it on the Off the Wall album and subsequently also the History Disc 1, I believe. I think that's why. Yeah, is She's Out of My Life on History Disc 1? It might not be, now that I'm thinking about it. I've got to double check my facts. But I just remember that he mentioned like writing that song for Michael, and that was a great story. So lots of great stories in those books. They're nice soft cover paperback books that you can take with you on the go. Very nice, like lots of good stories. And then number 10 is going to be my favorite, one of my favorite books for fact checking. This is the book Michael Jackson, a visual documentary by Adrienne Grant. This is like a timeline of Michael's entire life, you guys. This author has written down appearances from like the days of like the Jackson 5, them meeting the Queen, them touring in Africa, them performing in Japan, to like charting information, to awards Michael received, to press conferences he held. This is that ultimate book. If you are trying to be a Michael Jackson aficionado, you would definitely check this book out. And so those are my 10 books that I think you guys should be reading before the Michael Jackson biopic comes out. Comment down below if you guys have any other suggestions for books that other MJ fans should read. And maybe I'll bring those up on the show at a later date. Remember, these are all linked in the MJ Fangirl Amazon storefront, so make sure that you guys check that out. Now let's get into the next segment. Now the next segment is going to be called Do You Remember? I'm going to be getting into a radio ad that came out in the late 70s, and this was for the drink and beverage Dr. Pepper. A lot of you guys might know that Michael Jackson did do some endorsement work and some work with Pepsi throughout the majority of his career, but did you know that he also worked for Dr. Pepper? This was for the Be a Pepper campaign, which was launched in the late 70s. I believe it was 1977, according to what I'm reading here. Shout out to the IG account Living Off the Wall, who I am referencing here. They also have a YouTube channel where you can find this original song. It's on like a video there. But yes, this Dr. Pepper Be a Pepper campaign was one of the most successful campaigns for Dr. Pepper, and it ran from 1977 to 1982. And in this clip that I'm going to play for you guys right now, the Jacksons sing the song Be a Pepper to a tune resembling their hit Blame It on the Boogie for the campaign. Let's have a listen.
Drink Dr. Pepper in a crowd. I used to be alone in a crowd, but now you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper in the sunshine, I'm a pepper in the moonlight, I'm a pepper in the good times. Dr. Pepper, sunshine, I'm a pepper, moonlight, you're a pepper, good times. I drink Dr. Pepper. Everywhere you go, I peppers, lots of ocean, know my peppers. When you like to be a pepper too. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, and if you drink Dr. Pepper, you will find that you're a pepper too. Drink Dr. Pepper, drink Dr. Pepper.
All right, you guys, so that was that very cool little remix of Blame It on the Boogie there. I actually wanted to look this up to give you guys some more context and background because I was curious about it. So I found this article on mashed.com in the grocery like little column, I guess you would call it, by this author, this writer, Rachel Groh. So I'm going to read you a little bit of the background. Dr. Pepper has been delighting soda drinkers ever since 1885 with this uniquely formulated, bold yet sweet taste. Throughout its lifespan of over a century, Dr. Pepper has cycled through different spunky slogans to keep up with the ever-shifting marketing trends, even as its iconic 23-flavor variety remains purposely shrouded in mystery. I don't know if I read that right. I don't think I did, but bear with me. Longtime fans will likely recall one of the most memorable TV ad campaigns of Dr. Pepper's career, airing in 1977 and continuously showing up in the 80s, B.A. Pepper. So this is a catchy jingle. It was sung by an actor, David Naughton. But then it says here that this went on to become one of Dr. Pepper's most famous advertisements. And some other celebrities sang it as well, including other pop culture icons like Popeye the Sailor Man and Michael Jackson. So I just wanted to give that little tidbit in our Remember the Time segment. Do you remember? I'm sorry. So yeah, comment down below if you remember this. And I believe this was a radio advertisement. I don't believe that I was able to find any visuals for this online. So I would be interested if you were around in the 70s, watching TV, listening to the radio. Was this just a radio ad? Was it a television ad? I mean, I could probably go back to one of my books, like the visual documentary, and find this out. But I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. All right, so without further ado, I would like to get into this very last segment, which is called Dear Fangirl. All right, Dear Fangirl is a new segment where I address one of you guys' questions about the fan experience, about my personal fan experience, or your personal fan experience. Let's just talk fandom things, whether it be talking about events, moments in time, issues that you may have come across, dilemmas, give them to me and I will give you guys my feedback, advice, whatever. If you have a question, send it to me on mjfangirlblog at gmail.com. I'm going to put the email down below if you have a question for the Dear Fangirl segment, and I might bring it up in one of our next videos. So let's get into it. Have you ever felt any burnout with his music? I always wondered about your perspective as someone who listened to MJ as far back as the 90s. I personally started in 2006 and struggled to connect with certain songs after years of listening to them. Okay, so I want to start off by saying that I think with anything in life, there are always peaks and valleys, right? Highs and lows. Times when you are going to have higher interest levels and times where you may be interested in other things. And I think that that's perfectly normal. For me, I'm someone that does not over-listen on purpose. Number one, because I am a content creator in the space. So I can't over-listen to Michael to the point where I just become numb to it and don't appreciate it as much. I feel like when I take little breaks and I come back to songs, I'm like, wow, I forgot how dope this was, or I forgot about those layers in that song, or those ad-libs are so cool. I just have those moments, songs that come to mind are In the Closet. Haven't listened to that, in months. And then when I go back to it, I'm like, man, this song goes hard. Same thing with Leave Me Alone or Baby Be Mine, even though it's the theme song for my YouTube channel. That's not a song that I'm listening to every day, but every now and then I bump it in the car and I'm like, this is so good. I gotta go replay it again. And it's actually funny because the other day I was driving in my car and I was listening to The Girl Is Mine, which I really don't listen to very often because I'm just not the biggest fan of that song. I don't hate it, but I'm just I'm whatever about it, But the part came on when Paul and Michael kind of sing in harmony and they're singing, or is it harmony? No, I think it's Michael singing alone when he said, but we both cannot have us, so it's one or the other. That part, I was like, oh my gosh, that goes so hard. I rewound it 3 times and just blasted it because you just gotta love Michael, and that's why his songs and his music and his artistry, they're the gift that keeps on giving. There's so much that he left us with, you guys. And so I think it would be wild to expect you to listen to him, only him every day, watch him, only him every day. Michael's interwoven into the fabric of so many of our lives. And so we don't need to listen to him every day, you guys, to be considered to be a fan. Sometimes I want to listen to my top 100 music. Sometimes I want to listen to Taylor Swift. Okay? Shout out to the Swifties. Sometimes I want to listen to the Beyonce's new country album to see what that's all about. Sometimes I want to listen to hip hop because that's what I also do. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm a Black American. I grew up listening to a lot of R&B and hip hop. New York, Hot 97, blazing hip hop and R&B, Power 105. My favorite station for hip hop and R&B over there as well. Grew up listening to Kiss FM, all the oldies. So I should say oldies in New York, because I don't know what Kiss FM is out here. Do they play like old school R&B or like adult contemporary and R&B? Because that's what it was growing up. Like you could listen to all your Anita Baker and your Stevie, and you could listen to your Off the Wall era Michael. They might play you Show You the Way to Go and stuff like that. So, but I say all that to say, taking breaks is normal, and you shouldn't feel any less of a fan. I think the great part about Michael is that he's made so many different songs and types of music as well. So like if you're in a rock mood, you may be listening to, some punk rock or some 80s rock, and you may be like, you know what, now I'm in the mood to listen to Beat It. Now I'm in the mood to listen to Dirty Diana. Sometimes I'll be listening to hip hop, listening to my Notorious B.I.G. or whatever. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to go listen to This Time Around because he was on that song with Mike. So there's just, there's nothing to be ashamed about for like taking time out to just chill, get off of it, and then take your time to come back and rediscover Michael. I think that that's perfectly normal, and that's what I've done all these years. So that's my comment on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. It was a shorter one, not one of my longest videos, but I hope that it was chatty enough for you guys. Comment down below if there are any other segments that you guys think I should add. A lot of these videos are going to be also not only on my YouTube channel here, MJ Fangirl TV, but also on the podcast, which is right now exclusively on Spotify, called Club 30s with MJ Fangirl. Comment if you would be interested in hearing this on another platform. Thank you guys again so much for joining me on this video today. Leave your comments down below if you enjoyed it. And also make sure one last time to click in the description box. That link for the Ana Luisa jewelry and that 20% off is there. You can use my coupon code by visiting that link. I believe it's MJ Fangirl, but definitely go and click the link, and that's how you should get through to get your discount. Get a Mother's Day gift. Get a gift for yourself. Do you? To all the mommies out there, happy Mother's Day. To everybody, have a great weekend ahead. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. See you next time. Bye-bye.